Welcome to Map House. The primary focus of this map is the house itself. You're either going to spawn near the house, near the back barbecue, or you're going to spawn back here near the main road that leads into this big tunnel here. You have different routes that you could take, going down into the tunnels, or, testing your will, pushing out towards the military tent out here. There are a few locations that you want to be wary of that you might want to utilize yourself, or might even try to find some of your opponents in. One of them being bushes. We'll start with this. The foliage in this game is very useful, especially for snipers or people of the assault class. You can duck right in here into the bush itself. You can find areas that you can peek through, and you're going to be very minimally exposed from this location. And because a lot of opponents show up coming around this bend here and also showing up at the top of the house, you can pretty much reach anybody from the top all the way down to the second floor. You can also monitor all the way to the right, and it's very, very hard to see you. Some people like being up here in the tower itself. If you're a sniper, this is a great spot. The upside here is that you can duck, and for the most part, except for all the way up here on top of the house, you're pretty much hidden from everybody else. But while being hidden, you're also really not able to shoot anyone, so you got to be very quick with your shots. You got to be accurate, and also be ready to get mobile and jump down. Now, you don't want to necessarily climb down. If you can, try to jump across and then scooch down like that, so you don't take any damage and get behind the sandbags. Speaking of the sandbags, this is probably one of my favorite locations if you spawn here, because you have great access and angles from this location. Now, obviously, I'm using the UMP. This isn't necessarily the best weapon for a long-range fight, but the upside here is you can watch as your teammates spawn in this location, watch the helicopter pad. You can watch the side wall, which a lot of people like to go up and peek off of. You can watch satellite, you can watch tank, you can watch the third floor roof, and you can also come back over here and check, squat down, and watch the driveway. As you can see, I'm spotted immediately. So this does have its risks, but if you really are in a pinch, this is a great spot to cover. The tent area is another great location, although there's a lot of exposure here, obviously. You have a couple of great spots. First, you can get really close to these big square barrel type things. Forgive me for not knowing their name, but they're great for cover. You can get nice and close, and you can squat down and watch people come from around the helicopter pad. You can also watch behind you if necessary, but your flank is almost permanently exposed. One spot, especially on the night variant of this map, is right in between here. You can sit. Now, your flank isn't entirely exposed if your team is spawning behind you. You have a great angle up here onto the third floor roof, and also up there. Now, at nighttime, it's better because you are more well hidden due to the darkness of the map. During daytime, it's still helpful and beneficial, especially if you lay down. You might have a little bit more cover, but you want to stay crouched for mobility. So utilize this tent area to the best of your ability, and if you really need to get a quick escape, especially if they're coming at you from this angle, be sure to slide under here and quickly get behind this Jeep right here. Another great location coming from the tent is behind this flatbed. It is a great spot if you're able to get behind here, whether you're coming from the house or if you're coming from the tent itself. If you can find yourself over here, you're in a very good spot to watch a lot of this area without really being seen too much. So, for example, I can hide underneath this thing, stay nice and close, watch people coming out from here. You can get a very good angle for people who are sitting at the tank, maybe behind the solar panels. It's just a really good spot. And also over on the side wall, people like to peek over there. Perfect spot to try to pick them off. And it's really hard to nail these guys, especially because if you're firing from that side wall yourself and they sneak behind here, well, you just have no angle. So right behind the flatbed here, perfect spot. Love this guy. All right, so working our way around, coming from the flatbed, you can always come down this alley here. This is perfect, right alongside the driveway itself. If you can sneak past here without getting seen, you have two opportunities. You can either go up on this grassy knoll if you want. It gives you a great view, and you can very quickly run down, or you can hop up here, which gives you a lot more cover behind the wall. So it's like perfect, because if you start getting shot, granted your head's mostly exposed, but you can peek here, drop, and you can make your exit this way. Now, if you're lucky enough to make it to the helipad, you can actually work your way up to the top of these rocks. It's gonna require a lot of stamina, so make sure you got at least a full blue ring there. Now you do have the extra hop when you're out of stamina, but make sure you have as much stamina as possible. You can either start by hopping on the rocks or go up the wall. Going up the wall might be a little bit quicker. See if we can get up there without getting shot. Now you do run the risk of getting shot, as I am right now, but once you get up here, you pretty much have the lay of the land, and you can see everything that's going on around you. You do run the risk of getting hit though, especially if someone from the third window has great aim, or if they're up on the roof somewhere up here. Hopefully you have peak advantage, but you got to get up here first. It's a great spot. This is intended for the game, so don't think it's a cheat. And very easily someone down here could be climbing up the ladder and bomb a grenade up here. I've done it myself to get one of these pesky snipers out of here. But up here on the rocks right above the helipad, it's perfect for you folks who like to camp or like to snipe. It's a great spot. Good luck getting up here, and I'll be looking for you. Now, you've probably heard me say it already. Going up the wall is a great spot here. You can often find people hanging out on the corner, and it's a great vantage point, especially if you get the house spawn itself. So if you do get this spawn, it's a great opportunity to get up on the wall nice and quick and really scope things out. Now, like what we talked about in the back corner over there near the grassy knoll, you really want to use this opportunity to get someone quick. You want to be ready to aim down sight and pick a couple people off. Grenades are gonna fly your direction, and people are gonna look here rather quick. So again, be sure to use this to your advantage. Get here quick, get a couple of shots off, maybe launch some grenades behind the helicopter, and then quickly get down and find a different area. But it's a very good, right out of the gates spawn spot to camp. Be careful though, make sure you get to your escape. Another great spot is actually right here on the second floor balcony. Now, I know, it seems like it's very exposed, and you're like, Wolf, why would you actually come to this spot? Well, I'll tell you, this is more advantageous if you're here on night map, or on the night variant, but it's also good for the daytime variant, because as you move up, you can see, like, the sandbags are literally just, like, right there, so you'll be able to go prone. Make sure you go prone. Don't be crouched, don't be full standing, because you're entirely exposed. Try to stay prone, creep up enough to where you can see the top of the sandbags. You can start picking people off that way. I would recommend putting your face right near one of these beams here, because when they're trying to shoot you, that could potentially save your face from getting shot. And just aim around them and fire away. Good spot, very risky, but if you get this spawn, it's not a bad option. Now, one of my favorite spots is if you get the house spawn itself, you immediately come up to the roof through a variety of different paths. I could show you quick ones, and maybe in my mobility videos I will show you that, but get up here as quickly as you can. Get behind this AC unit. This is a great spot to duck down, peek, fire, duck, peek, fire, duck, peek, fire, and you can get perfect intel and give your teammates an idea of where the enemy's moving, whether they're going helipad, tent, or if they're going to the driveway side. So, AC unit, give you a thumbs up. Now, the obvious choice here is if you get the house spawn, you want to get up on the roof, okay? A lot of people will sit right by the tank, but this is very risky. You can peek the sides of the tank. Now, my recommendation is to not peek the sides of the tank, because you immediately expose yourself. Where you actually are harder to shoot is if you can climb up on this ladder. Yes, you can climb this ladder. I don't know if many people actually know this, but climbing this ladder is actually a great chance for you to do a little slide up, peek, shoot, slide down. Slide up, peek, shoot, slide down. You see, my head's barely exposed at all. I might get shot from the back if there's a spawn there, but just hold your grip, aim down sight, peek up, fire down, peek up, fire down. This can actually save you a huge headache as opposed to standing on the sides of the tank themselves. Now that we've kind of talked about the roof and things that you could do up there, which is actually an advantageous spot. You gotta think, like, on house map, the focal point is the house. If you can control the house, then you pretty much control the map. So if you're playing a team-based game mode, you want to ensure that you maintain the house to the best of your ability. It's a natural hard point or control point, so to say. So if you can hold down the house, it's kind of like a natural control point. So any chance that you get, try to take over the house, maintain control of it, and you pretty much have control of the map. Why don't we head upstairs and see what spots we can hold to, well, maintain control of the house. First, we stop on the second floor. Now, second floor window is quite large, so you're going to have to be careful. You can see a wide range of the map opposite the wall. It's a very good spot, but you do have these blockers here from the rails. So really getting a good shot requires you to be a little close. You can stand back if you want. It gives the opponent less of you to shoot, but also reduces the amount of accuracy, so to say, because when you shoot, there's a strong chance you're going to hit the guardrail, unless you're a very good shot. Now, when playing this window, I recommend standing on one of the sides here, over here. My greatest recommendation might be to peek here instead, simply because even though people are coming out this way, if you're looking over here and they're looking wall, you can be very easily picked off, especially if you're distracted by over here, what's happening over at the helipad. People with sandbags are going to pick you off. Over here, there's not much activity, so you can feel rested or feel assured that not many shots are going to come from this direction. So you can peek here, check anyone crossing at the tent, and then peek sandbags and back. And notice how the helipad really doesn't have a shot of me. So this is the second floor bay window. Best of luck. Either stand close, sit back, pick your preference, give it a shot, see if it works out for you. Now let's head up to the third floor. Now the third floor window looks very similar to the second floor window. Again, I would recommend probably sitting closer to the sides of the walls because it's a little bit tighter of an angle and you expose, you expose yourself quite a bit, but you have a lot more coverage, so to say. You can sit back here, but you got to keep in mind that the further back you go, the less actual range of view that you have. Sure, you can cover tower, and you can cover anyone who goes up on top of the canopy there, but getting the sandbags is rather difficult the further back you go. You can also check the helipad, slice the pie, if you will, and see who's coming over here. I like to hold this side simply because I can cover the helipad, give intel, and maybe get a couple of kills too. And it's also a very good spot to hold the tent down from this location. But give this side a shot as well. Again, not much activity comes to this side, but you can still get pretty good peek shots off from the second floor window or third floor window. So give this a shot, see how well it fares, and best of luck. All right, so we're heading to the great outdoors, folks. We're out of the house. We talked about the best spots in the house that you could possibly be. Those are the primary spots that people sit at, especially the veteran players. So keep an eye on those locations, but even more so, keep an eye in the trees. Yes, folks, you can climb the trees. All you have to do is go over, hop up, get up as high as you can, and yes, there is plenty of cover up here. Now, I'm not very good shooting from the trees, but some people are. The higher you go, the more visual range you have, and if you got good eyes, you can pick people off, and it's very hard to find you. Now, you could sit in this tree, or you could sit in this tree over here. Yes, both of them are accessible. Just make sure you have enough stamina to get all the way to the top. Just to show you what it's like, let's hop up into this tree. See, you can get up pretty high, and all the branches have colliders, but you do have less visual range, so this tree isn't often used nearly as much as this one, but give it a shot, see if you like it. Alright guys, and that's pretty much it here for the map house. Hopefully some of these tips were helpful. Hopefully you found this informative, and that's going to be it for this one. So I will see you guys in the next map review. Bombs away. Hey, it worked this time. All right.